tradition indeed. Monday at Bearscott Stadium, February 26th. It's going to be in the upper 50s today. It's already about 50. Completely sunny. It's a good day here today at Bearscott Stadium. We'll take a look around as we get out there, but first a little sports, a little weekend wrap up. So the weekend in sports, the highlight was some of the Division III basketball going on, the conference tournaments. Saturday night, myself and Taylor and JG were watching the live stream of Stockton in the championship game of their tournament. They were bested by TCNJ. The Lions are going to the Division III tournament. And then yesterday afternoon it was Hampton, Sydney beating Washington and Lee of Fredericksburg, Virginia in the ODAC championship game. So it'll be Hampton, Sydney will be one of the Virginia teams going to the D3 tournament. We're going to wait today, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. The selection show, I know JG will be watching. Selection show that we'll see if Randolph-Macon, the school that I have filmed many times live there before, if they will get a large selection. Probably will. And if Guilford from North Carolina, another ODAC team, will make it, and probably unlikely that Stockton will be in. JG tells us they might go to that consolation tournament he told us about. Over the weekend, wrapped up the third quarter of the Omen pentology. Omen III, the final conflict, 1981. This movie gets more difficult to watch, it seems, every time. I'm always kind of try to be excited going into it, but there's just parts where I can leave and do other things, iron clothes or whatever. But there's just scenes like the monks gather together, making their little plans on how to kill Damien. The astrology scene with the stars converging. The subplot with Damien and Kate Reynolds, I find a little boring. Though I do like it when they're walking through the park or the place where the guys giving speeches about the play, the theaters, and the guy talking about the second coming, and it's pretty good. But probably one of my favorite sequences is in Omen 3, boys, is after the Disciples of the Watch meeting, seeing the people who were there, the Boy Scouts, the priest, the nurse, etc. The television host, not the television host, the guy who was on the television show, downplaying the deaths of the children, and then showing the infants being killed, but it's off screen. I think it's pretty good, intense, suspenseful scenes there, and well done. A lot of the scenery is really good. The fox hunt's a little dumb, but scenery is just really good. Like when Kate falls in the lake, I like that little area there. Kind of reminds me of Omen. It's kind of a little reference back to Omen, the first Omen, when Gregory Peck and Lee Remick temporarily lose the 3-year-old Damien, and they think maybe he's fallen into a river, and then in Omen 3 it looks like maybe could be the same river. He says there's old Nick in there, some imaginary person, and he goes, we first met when I was about 4. So I always think it's a reference to that scene, but where he's looking at the lake. But so the deaths of the deaths of the children in Omen 3 takes place on March 24th, 1981. Okay, so it kind of gives you an idea of like when you could actually watch this film that late, but and it does look like kind of a late March kind of scene. So I was talking about the atmosphere of Omen 3. It's good to have a lot of people. I talked about this on the Omen 2, how we still have a lot of, and this from 1978, 46 years ago, still have a lot of the main people still living. It's kind of good. Foxworth, Hendrickson, Lee Grant, Nicholas Pryor, which is, I think it's really cool. And also in Omen 3, still have a lot of them still living as well from 1981. Father DiCarlo has since passed. Mason Adams, the president, passed. Robert Arden, the ambassador, passed. They were all old in that movie, though. But you know, the others, some of the other main ones still around. Leo Gordon passed a few years ago, so that's not good. But most of the monks are still alive, except Louis Mahoney, no relation to Pat Mahoney. And Lisa Harrow, who's Kate Reynolds, is 80 or 81. Sam Neill is pushing 80 now. Barnaby Home is like 50s still, the guy who played Peter Reynolds. And he wasn't in much. He wasn't in many other movies or TV shows. Barnaby Home, English actor. But he was pretty good in Omen 3. I mentioned, now I did mention a couple uncredited actresses on my Saturday video. Hazel Court and Ruby Wax, but I mentioned one who was credited, one of the monks, Richard Oldfield, who was in The Empire Strikes Back the year before, 1980. But I did fail to mention another actor who was in this movie but uncredited. Darth, you will know this name, and some of you other geeks will know this name too, but Jeremy Bullock is in this film too. I forgot he is in this, but he is in Omen 3, but he's uncredited. He's like a reporter, so he's probably in the scene, either the scene after the ambassador's suicide, where Sam Neill is coming up the steps and there's reporters kind of following him, or he's in the scene when they're interviewing Dean about something, about a subplot, overseas conflict or something, when he's coming up the steps. He's in one of those. I've seen him before, I think, but Jeremy Bullock, in case you don't know who that is, he was in The Empire Strikes Back 1980 and Return of the Jedi 1983. Boba Fett was his character. So a cult hero for the Star Wars fans. Boba Fett is in Omen 3. That's pretty cool. He was also in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith in 2005, but he was there kind of as a cameo to red meat for the fans. He played a different character. I'm not sure what it was, like Colonel or something, but that is Omen 3. We wrap that up. Good to get that one down. We're 3/4 through the Omen season, and so we'll wrap up maybe later this week and talk about the 1991 TV movie Omen 4. All right. Awakening. So, this is Bearscott Stadium. There's people kind of, I haven't seen B-Mile today. He was here Thursday, but people kind of milling around. Someone just pulled up maybe to play basketball or something. But kind of a quiet day here today at Bearscott. Look around, trees. I can see some buds up there now. I can see a difference from last Monday to this Monday. No, I'm sorry, not last Monday. I wasn't here Monday. Last week. You can see a little difference up there. And I'm surprised I don't hear any golf, but I expect to hear some tee offs and some chips later in the day. because this is definitely a golfing kind of day. All right, I'm gonna do some exercise here at Scotty Stadium. Likely the last visit of February. Likely. So get your last look at February at Scott Stadium, boys. Thanks for tuning in.